Hello, everybody. This is Zemanon, coach of the Detroit Solgaleo, bringing you Week 10 coverage here against Marolt and the Slovenia Slowbros. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because Marolt was actually our first opponent in the LDL EVO this season. He's our division rival, so our last three matches of the season are up against our division opponents again. And if you remember correctly, the first match against Marolt was really good. It came down to the wire, and he won with a 1-0 victory. Not solely, but in large part because both my Zeraora and Sylveon that week got maximum 3 turns of sleep. And if either of them had woken up one turn in that match, I think we would have won that one. But he still has a scary team. A lot of threats that I kind of switched it up a little bit here. I brought Celebi this time around. Made my I think my Zeraora was like safety goggles or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while as I'm recording all these in succession. It's hard. And then I was AV Ludicolo, and that was the big difference. Was I did not have Ludicolo. He was a mid-season pickup for me. So Celebi and Ludicolo are here over the, I believe it was Sylveon and DNC for that week. But if we run through Marolt's team very quickly, it is Manaphy, Togekiss, Arcanine, Bronzong, Crabominable, Audino, Mega Ampharos, Amoonguss, Donphan, Tyranitar, and Shelmet. So the two that really terrorized us in week 1 were Amoonguss and Donphan. Amoonguss was just living everything. He did like 95% to my Swampert with Giga Drain, where I should have switched out the Swampert into my Incineroar, just like, you know. But we've grown. We've learned since then, guys, all right? This is week 10 now. We have more experience. We know we're not just going to let Swampert take a Giga Drain for free, right? All right. Well, let's see if that actually holds true here. So I'm a hit play. And I led Incineroar in this matchup, expecting him to lead Bronzong to try to set up Stealth Rocks. And instead, he actually leads his Mega Ampharos. Obviously, still just regular Ampharos, but it will evolve into the Mega momentarily here. So this Intimidate is not going to matter at all. As he Mega evolves, I'm just going to U-turn out into my my Celebi. Celebi, I actually was thinking of running Leech Seed in my 4th slot, but I wasn't very bulky, so I didn't think it made a lot of sense to go Leech Seed on Celebi. So instead, I have Recover in that last slot, and I'm gonna need it here because this is where the random number generator kicks in this match. It's all over the place on both of our sides. He Dragon Pulses and crits Celebi. Like, oh man, that hurt so much. That crit absolutely was a big deal. So thankfully I have Recover instead of Leech Seed in that last slot, because I am able to recover up here above 50%. And now I know Bronzong is just going to set up his Stealth Rock, so I bring the Incineroar back in so he gets in before taking that Stealth Rock damage. There's nothing really my Celebi could do there against Bronzong. Up goes Stealth Rocks, and now I'm gonna knock off, expecting Bronzong to switch out, and as he does. And if he didn't, then I'd be able to knock off his item, which is also great. But instead, I'm actually going to knock off the Manaphy here, and that does a pretty solid amount as a neutral hit to Manaphy. I get rid of its leftovers. I know it's not Z-move, so I know it's not Z Rain Dance, or anything like that, which is also great news. And now he brings in his Togekiss, which I expected Manaphy to switch out. So I went for the initiative play and U-turned. And also I would have lived to Surf from full HP, so I would have eaten the hit and then been able to switch in Zeraora at full health still. This was I guess this was a misplay on my end. I should have expected the Togekiss to switch out. It's not the end of the world, honestly. But he does go into his Donphan, which obviously is immune to my Plasma Fist. So this would have been a great time to knock off. That would have been great. Would have got rid of its item, which we're going to learn later is Assault Vest, which is exactly what he brought against us in week 1 was Assault Vest Donphan. So I bring in my Pelipper here to set up the rain. I believe I'm Damp Rock. I could be wrong. I guess we're going to find out here. Yes, I was Damp Rock, so I wanted those additional turns of rain in this matchup, especially because he also had Tyranitar. So I was like, if he brings it, I don't know. Maybe I should go for the Damp Rock. And here at Ice Beam, which wasn't even a prediction, I was just Ice Beaming the Donphan, and I get a freeze. Now this, I instantly messaged. I was like, oh my god, it feels so bad. If you actually think about it, this freeze did not actually matter. And when you say, well, what do you mean this freeze? Well, you're going to find out. Because Ampharos would have been death fodder anyway that turn. He would have been knocked out by another Ice Beam. So now he switches in to the Manaphy to take the Ice Beam. And I get a crit. But I'm going to say it now. My crit was not as beneficial as his Dragon Pulse crit. I resisted Ice Beam into the Manaphy here. So he's going to Ice Beam also. I'm not too sure what he was expecting there, but he gets a freeze. So it's like, oh my god, right away we have 2 freezes on Ice Beams. This is just, we're actually just laughing back and forth, talking about it in Discord. But luckily I'm able to thaw because I have Scald on my Ludicolo, and you know, it changed my play because obviously I would have tried to Giga Drain or something like that if I wasn't frozen. But I just can't. I'm just thinking, oh my god, 2 freezes, 2 crits already. It's just, this match it's bananas, and of course it's gonna go down with this because Marolt and our first match was really good, and this is also a really good match. So I switch in to eat the Sludge Bomb, just hoping I didn't get poisoned, which I didn't, because I didn't want Ludicolo to take that. And he's going to switch out his Amoonguss into the Donphan, and this is where I knock off because I knew Rain was up. You know, why would I Flare Blitz? He's just going to switch out anyway, so I'm going to knock off the Assault Vest on him. And I switch in the Celebi here, and I kind of forget what he knockoffs too, so he made a great move on his end because I was expecting him to Earthquake, so that's why I brought in the Celebi. Now, this was also really dumb of me here. So I switch out, because he had Ice Shard, which he showed as he got 4 knockouts in week 1 against us with Ice Shard on Donphan. So I switch out Celebi because I didn't want it to get knocked out to Ice Shard. But I switch in the Pelipper, forgetting about rocks, and then he Ice Shards anyway and knocks us out, which I was actually kind of foddering off Pelipper anyway, so it didn't matter. But I forgot about my Damp Rock being knocked off. That would have been so different. So now I only have 4 upcoming turns with the Swampert instead of the 7 I would have liked. And in comes the Manaphy here. I believe I go for an Ice Punch because it covered for the Ampharos and the Amoonguss and the Togekiss switch-ins if I went for Ice Punch. And as you see, I did here. Does nothing, but Earthquake is going to be able to knock it out. I think maybe he was expecting a Waterfall, or even the Ice Punch also. It made sense to go Manaphy. He's just going to sack it here. So Mega Swampert gets his first of many knockouts here in this match, which is exciting. Obviously, he's our Mega. We want our boy doing well. In comes the Amoonguss, and I just have to switch out. I made an adjustment, boys. Week 1, I just let him Giga Drain me for literally no reason. This time I switch out, and thank God I did because he spores into my Ludicolo. And man, I wish I had Ludicolo in week 1. Since Sylveon Zeraora got wrecked by Spore. But Ice Beam brings us down to half. We're going to Sludge Bomb, or we're going to eat the Sludge Bomb thanks to our Assault Vest. And then he's back up over 50% here. He's going to withdraw actually to get some of that regenerator boost and sack off his Ampharos because it really wasn't doing anything. So that's why I say that freeze on the Ampharos didn't necessarily matter because Pelipper was still faster than it when it switched in, so it would have knocked it out. And then here he just switches it out. He switches it out anyway. But in comes the Don fan, and here I am, super low health, and here he is with his stinking ice shard again, and that is another knockout for the Don fan with ice shard. Like, I did not know he got ice shard before our first match, and by the end of this one, like, I will never forget, thanks to Marolt, I will never forget that Don fan gets ice shard. Every Don fan I ever run against now that doesn't use it, I'm going to be triggered. So he switches out into the Bronzong, which is a great play on his end. I could have went for the Waterfall, but again, I'm covering for the Amoonguss and the Togekiss switch-ins. So now I Waterfall, which it does a pretty solid amount, actually. And he is, wait for it, Tectonic Rage Bronzong. I give him some credit here. That's a pretty cool bring to this Week 10 matchup against us. Like, I was not expecting it. I thought, it's Bronzong and Arcanine are his 2 Z users. So the fact that, it's not surprising that this was holding the Z. I thought maybe it'd be Psychium or something like that. But we're just going to Waterfall here and knock it out. Which, if we just made a prediction, our Swampert would have been at much higher health. If we Waterfalled that first turn. So in comes the Togekiss, and I apologize if it seems to be lagging a little bit for you guys. I'll keep narrating for it. I decided to Ice Punch, and he baton passes, and this decision was really weird to me. I'm still trying to figure out what it was. What I think he was doing was he wanted to have somebody eat an attack from Swampert and then safely get Amoonguss in so it can be on the field at full health. Like, that's the thing I'm assuming the baton pass was for. But here is the second ice, the second freeze, and oh my god, I feel so terrible. Like, Marolt was a really good sport about it because, right here, obviously, he's gonna stay frozen, and then we're just gonna knock it out. But like, he was like, "It's all right, man. It's a part of the game." Like, I know I would have a couple of holes in my wall if I got frozen like that twice. But yeah, so he got frozen twice. I got frozen. We've each had crits. It's like, this game is all over the place. And then in comes the Togekiss here, which again, you're gonna see why I wanted to have more HP. But an Ice Punch, I just clicked Ice Punch because I thought I was going to get knocked out. We almost take him down, and he will go for the Air Slash. But your boy, Mega Swampert, lives on 5. Let's go. And now we're able to Ice Punch again, knocking out the Togekiss. So, Swampert has knocked out 4 Pokemon this week. He is just crushing it. And then, your Pokemon is low on health. Let me just bring my Donphan in and Ice Shard it. That's just like, that's all he has to do every single time. And of course, if I did make that prediction against Bronzong earlier, I'd have more HP, and Ice Shard wouldn't be able to knock us out. But that's alright. Now this is where it gets interesting. Alright? I knew that Stealth Rocks would pop my berry, so I go back up to around 75%. Thanks to the Igual. And I need to get Donphan as low as it can in its attack. So it's now -1. It's his last Pokemon. So I have that Celebi I can still fodder off. So I'm going to U-turn into the Celebi, and it's going to get knocked out from Stealth Rock. So I guess Bronzong gets credit for that knockout here, as he goes for the Earthquake, which isn't going to hit anything. But it doesn't matter. Celebi went down. It did its job. Thankfully, it had recovered, so it lived long enough so it could do nothing and get knocked out. So now with this second Intimidate, he is -2. So I can live an Earthquake. That was the goal here. And I had Drain Punch for the T-Tar. So I was like, well, since I have it, I might as well use it. With the combination of him being -2 and me recovering some HP thanks to Drain Punch, I'm able to live this Earthquake. Now, I probably could have just went for a Flare Blitz or something like that. I don't know if it would have knocked out from that range. Like, I'm actually not sure. But at this point, I was trying to preserve differential. And I can't, because he crits Ice Shard, which absolutely mattered. We were joking about it afterwards. Like, he would not have knocked me out even with my 14 HP if it was not for the crit. So Donphan gets 4 more knockouts. But Zeraora, thank God, had close combat and is able to knock out the Donphan. And we win that one against Marolt 1-0. Oh, man. that set was all over the place, dude. Like, multiple freezes, multiple crits, the Dragon Balls crit, the Ice Shard crit. Like, his Donphan, I think here, let me look it up right now. His Donphan has 13 knockouts this season, and 8 of them are against us. So if it wasn't for us, his Donphan would be 5-5, but instead it's 13-5, which is just, it's just crazy. But yeah, GG's to Marolt. Like, I really enjoyed both of our matches this season. He won a game 1-0, and then I won a game 1-0. Oh, that was intense. I feel like, yeah. So definitely make sure you check out Marolt's YouTube channel. I'll put that in the description as well, because he's one of the few Evo League uploaders in the LDL. So with that, we are now 5-5. Yes, at this point we're 5-5, I believe. Yeah, because we were 4-4 going into Alejandro. We lost. That's 4-5. Plus a win against Marolt is 5-5. That's how simple math works. Thank you for coming along that math problem with me. So we're 5-5 with 2 weeks left, and we really want to make the playoffs. Like, that's our goal. My goal this season, it wasn't even to move up to the majors or anything like that. It was to make the playoffs. So the way I looked at the numbers, if we get one more win, we're pretty likely to get into the playoffs with at least 6 wins. But you'll have to find out with the next match, because I'm going to get that one up too as soon as I can. But thank you, everybody, for watching this week. Thank you to Marolt. Again, check him out below. And for now, this is Zemanon and the Detroit Solgaleo signing off. We will see you next time.